What's up, podcast, man? It has been a while since you've heard from me. I do apologize for the hiatus. Not really much of a reason to it. Just, kind of busy and kind of trying to organize a few things and really trying to go through a bit of a rebranding and just a very thought-centered time of life to kind of organize things and try to figure out direction I'm headed and the best way to do that. That's kind of caused me to be really bad about keeping in touch with people, not only through the podcasts and articles and things like that, but just in life in general. And that's not something that I'm too happy about and not too proud of it. But life does get busy, and I know that everybody out there has their own busyness that they're trying to deal with, so I completely understand that. But it's always, I have been trying to reconnect the last couple weeks, and I'll continue to do so. And I've even not put myself in positions to meet new people just because I feel bad that I'm neglecting the the older relationships and the more mature relationships that I have. So I haven't really been wanting to meet new people because I feel so bad about letting down the the friends I already have and that already know me and all that good stuff. But like I said, I have been trying to reconnect, and the few people I have reconnected with so far, we've talked about my social media hiatus, and that they actually enjoy the things I post and the content I produce, and that's always very humbling, and it's always very exciting for me, and it kind of gets the gears flowing again. Like, well, damn, maybe I need to get back in the swing of things and continue to do that. So here I am, trying to get back in the swing, and the podcast is something that I enjoy, and I think it's brought a lot of good to the people listening to it. It's by no means a huge audience, and that's fine. It's not about the numbers for me. It's more so about sharing and something that I can look back on and just kind of when I can't really do anything anymore, I get old and retired or whatever, I can look back on it and say, man, that was some top shelf shit, which is kind of like my ultimate motivator in my life. But I have been working on a few things I'm pretty excited about. They've been more geared towards I guess you could say major projects, things that are going to take a little bit longer than just a few weeks. So the logistical issues with some a documentary that I'm really, really excited about and really want to put a lot of effort into over the next 3 to 5 years is, logistically, it's I need to be in a lot of different places. So it's going to take time to do those things, and it's going to take, money and things like that. But I think it's a project I'm very, I really want to come to life, and I really want to make sure it's well done. So it's not something I want to rush. I think a 3 to 5 year window is a little bit longer than it might actually take, but I'm going to give myself that length of time to make sure it's done right, because I think it'll be something I look back on 10 years from now and be really proud of. And that's kind of more towards the direction I want to go with all my content. I want to be able to look back on things and be super proud of it, but I don't want to get caught up in the perfectionist side of things either, to where I'm not posting things because it's not perfect, or it's got a few little tweaks and I'm not sure about it. I want to get away from that, and that's something that I haven't been able to do lately. There's a lot of drafts and things I've written and spoke on that I haven't shared just because it wasn't it wasn't perfect, and they're never really perfect. So I'm trying to get over that, trying to kind of just get back in the swing of producing shareable content on a regular basis. So obviously those major projects are going to take time, but I need to have a better organizational system of posting shorter content, videos, articles, and I get I have gotten a lot of positive feedback from the newsletter, so I think that'll be something I start back here really, really soon. I did post a video on YouTube yesterday, and it's a basic bodyweight workout. So it's super basic. I have been out of the gym for the last couple months or so, because I've been doing a lot of snowboarding and a lot of mountain climbing and things like that, and I don't know, it's been a weird time in my life. I haven't been in the gym as much as I would like to, but I'm starting. That's changing now. Last week is when this workout was done, And, I did this a couple times because it's been a while since I've been in the gym. So I didn't want to just walk in there and be completely tear myself down so I'm not able to snowboard for a couple weeks. I don't want to do that because snowboarding, I still have a good, month and a half left of snowboarding, and I want to take full advantage of that. So I don't want to be super sore. So I want to, take baby steps into this. So it's a great workout for you to use if you haven't been in the gym in a while, or if you've never been in the gym. It's super basic. You can almost do it at home. The only thing that you need is a pull-up bar. So if you have something that you can pull up on at home, you're very welcome to do this at home. I did this at home. It's push-ups, pull-ups, squats. It's very basic, but and then I throw some stretching and some foam rolling in there too, which I'll probably need to go back and make another video on, elaborating kind of the stretching that I use and the foam rolling techniques that I use as well. So I'll probably go back and do that. I've been needing to do that for a while, and it's on the to-do list. Nonetheless, this podcast, basically I'm trying to sum up the past few months, provide a little bit of direction of the future. You guys know I've been doing a ton of snowboarding. I've been to Utah, Wyoming, Colorado. Before it's all said and done, I'll probably get out to California and probably ride a little bit in Canada as well, because I'm heading back up to Skagway, Alaska this summer to work with my good buddy Barrett Hedges, who's a National Geographic award-winning photographer. As you know, I worked in the gallery last summer. I was very successful. I decided to go back and do it again this summer, so I'm excited about that. I'm heading up I'm going to leave Western Colorado on the evening of April 30th, probably drive all night, and make my way out to California to snowboard at Mammoth Mountain. Went out there last season. That's kind of where I ended my season at, with my brother out there. So I'm trying to drain as much snowboarding as I can out of the season. We've had a ton of snow. A lot of resorts are reporting record totals throughout the months of February and March too. So I think the snowboarding will be good very, very late, and I want to take advantage of that. So I'm hitting Mammoth. I'm hitting Squaw Valley. I bought the Icon Pass. I'm going to put that in the show notes there too. I bought the Icon Pass because I'm next season, I'm maybe getting a little bit ahead of myself, but next year, what the heck? My WordPress is updated, and I haven't been on here in a while, so I'm not as proficient as I should be on it. But nonetheless, where was I? Icon Pass, yeah. So Icon Pass has Jackson Hole on there. It's got Revelstoke in Canada. It's got a couple really cool mountains on there. And I've been using the Epic Pass for the last 2 years because I've worked for Vail Resorts. But I don't think I'm going to work for Vail next season. I think I'm going to take the winter, and I'm going to do my best to chase powder all winter long. So I'm going to, just keep my eye out on the snow forecast and try to find the best powder. I'm also going to be putting together content based on that all season long. There's a couple of companies that I'm going to reach out to and see if I can, create some content for them, and maybe in return get some definitely get some exposure. As you guys know, I'm kind of working on building a media company, and so exposure would be great. Money would also be great. So we'll see. I'm just now starting to plan that out, but I definitely plan on spending a lot of time in Jackson and Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and then possibly some in Canada as well. But there's a lot of great resorts on the Icon Pass, and I want to take advantage of those places and become, the best snowboarder that I possibly can. I'm just gonna write that down and do it later. Icon Pass for the show notes, which will be at therelentlessmindset.com/up-to-speed. This is podcast number 43, which is kind of crazy, but I have been doing this for I guess over the last 4 years maybe or so, and I got it broken down in seasons. So this will be the beginning of season 6, and this one's called Up to Speed, trying to catch everybody up to speed about what I've been doing and kind of going forward. So summer 2019, be in Skagway until September. September I'm headed down to North Carolina for a good buddy's wedding. So I'll be out there. I'm planning on sticking around North Carolina and Tennessee majority of September and October, and trying to catch up with contacts there. I used to live in Nashville, so a lot of people that I know there that I love and care about and that I want to see, haven't seen in quite a while, and I definitely want to spend some time catching up. But I'll also be out there to start, a lot of the filming for that documentary. I think it's going to be called Relentless. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think that makes the most sense to me at this moment. But what it kind of dives into, and I launched a teaser last week. Well, I shared the teaser with my private Facebook group, Relentless Individuals. But I think I'm going to go ahead and open that up and share it on Instagram and Facebook as well. It's just a little teaser. It's very, very early in the process, but I just wanted to kind of put a video together to kind of give me an idea of what I'd be looking at, and just kind of how I want to put it together, because I've been thinking about this for probably over a year and a half now, and it's something it's beginning to click. There's a lot of missing pieces, but I believe it's been beginning to click. Questions I've been asking myself about it is, do I want to do the full-length documentary, or should I do an episodic series? Or just how I'm going to share it, the best medium to share it with. And so I'm trying to figure that out and come up with ideas on that. But back to the schedule. So summer, heading back to Alaska. I'm going to hit up a couple different ski resorts along the way there, and I'll probably try to get to ride at Whistler in British Columbia, and then from there try to make my way up to Skagway. I went through British Columbia last year, but I didn't really stop a whole lot. If anybody's got any ideas on that, I'll probably be heading up the Cassiar Highway. So I won't be going through Alberta or Calgary or Edmonton this year like I did last year. I think last year I went through Montana and crossed the border there, but this year I'll go through Seattle and up through that and cross the border over that direction. I'm not 100% sure if it'll be the same border crossing I did coming back to the States from Canada, but it very well might be. So we'll just see about that. But if anybody has any suggestions for British Columbia, just let me know. So that'll be April 30th. So month of May, all through the summer I'll be there, and then go to North Carolina, and then whenever I'm done in Tennessee, I'm headed back home. Plan on spending significant time back home with my family and friends. Last year, I felt really bad missing the holidays, especially with my nieces and nephews. End up working all day Thanksgiving and Christmas, and and while I did make quite a bit of money those days, because ski resorts are pretty busy on the holidays, it just didn't justify it in my mind. So I'm planning on doing what I did a couple years ago, where spending, probably be home by Thanksgiving, spending Thanksgiving through Christmas at home, working on projects there as well, but mostly kind of decompressing from a crazy year. I mean, I've been going nonstop since January, pretty much, doing a lot of traveling, mostly chasing snow, getting to snowboard a lot. But it's crazy. That's what my life has developed into. But and that's a lot of what the documentary is going to uncover too. A huge question I'm asking myself right now is why snowboarding? Why am I getting into it? And I think I'm starting to find some answers on that. I grew up in Texas, playing football. Football is such a huge part of my life for so long. And 23, 24 years old, it's over with in college, and I was kind of lost. So, like, in retrospect, I think I spent the 4 to 5 years after football trying to find trying to fill that void, find something to fill it. And I got into bodybuilding, I got really into golf, I got into a couple other different things, and nothing has seemed to really fill it. Always moved on and gone to something different. And I think snowboarding is the first thing that I found that's kind of given me that has filled that void and given me, something that I can truly be passionate about again. That's something that I think about on a daily basis, and I want to keep progressing and get better. So everything now for me is geared toward becoming a better snowboarder. That's, including workouts, nutrition, travel, finances, all that good stuff is tailored toward that. Which brings up a really good quote that I, in the book The Alchemist, which I want to put that in the show notes as well. It talks about how, your work should serve your interests. And I've been living my life more or less on that term for the last couple of years, and it's been incredibly rewarding. And I encourage anybody to kind of, reframe their mindset and think about that, because it's such a sad sight to see people just kind of going through life, the monotony and the mediocrity that everybody tends to accept with, getting jobs and staying in places where they may not like. I just don't like seeing that, so I really encourage people to just kind of question everything. So that's why I'm questioning the snowboarding, because it definitely seems crazy on the outside looking in, but, it makes complete sense to me, and that's really all that matters. So if you have something that doesn't quite make sense on the outside looking in, but, you can justify it, and it doesn't even have to be, concrete grounds to justify it with. I mean, I can't really, it's hard for me to justify the snowboarding thing, but I know it makes me happy. It's something that I want to pursue, and I think there's a definite future in there somehow, some way. So, you gotta, walk by faith and not by sight sometimes. A lot of people like to talk about that, but not. It's easier said than done. And another quote that I like a lot is, "When all is said and done, there'll be more said than done." So I'm a doer. I prefer to just go out there and do it. Go after it and see what happens. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm going after the film projects. I'm going after the media company. I firmly believe that it'll pay off, and I more so believe that I'm going to do what it takes for it to be successful, and I'm willing to wait and do what's necessary to make that happen. And I think a lot of people should have that kind of mindset and be patient too, because it doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take time. And honestly, I look back and I see a lot of the dots that are starting to connect now to get me to where I'm at. That didn't always make sense, but it's making a lot of sense now, and I think it'll only continue to make more sense as I continue to move forward. So I didn't want this video to be too long, or podcast rather. The video will be up on YouTube. I'll put the link in the show notes as well if you'd want to see it. Just trying to give you guys as many options as possible to consume this content. So I hope there's a few gems in here. I know a lot of people like to keep up with me, so this is kind of what this podcast is geared towards. Season 6, I'm not 100% sure what the theme of this one will be. We've done fitness heavy themes in the past and such like that. I'm not sure if I'll have any guests or not. Quite possibly. We'll see. I just wanted to jump on here and kind of talk to you guys for a minute, just because I haven't done so in a while. But some things to look out for. As you know, my second book, Answering the Call, I worked with wheelchair bodybuilder and speaker Chad McCrary. We've been talking about audiobook for quite a while. Honestly, that project has been put on the back burner for far too long, and it's long overdue. So look for that to come before May. I'm trying to knock out as many projects as possible before I leave for Alaska that May 1st, April 30th evening. So look out for that. I have started on that, a couple chapters in now, so I'm anticipating really diving into that next week and really making that become a reality. So hopefully I can make that happen. So I'll be looking out for that. On the audio book front, I'm also going to do one for the first book, the Relentless Mindset. And I'm also going to include some additional commentary based on some of the thoughts and ideas in that book. I kind of want to elaborate on some of those, kind of how I've adjusted, or how I now think about it, if it's any different or if it's still the same 3 years later. That book was published in March of 2016, so it's crazy. It's been 3 years since that book was out, but I think it's a good time now to kind of revisit some of those ideas. A lot of those ideas are concrete in my head, But it'll be interesting for me to go back and see how they've evolved over time, because I've definitely grown a lot since the beginning of that book, and there's a lot that's happened since that book's come out. So I think that'll be a very fun project for me, and I think a lot of you who enjoyed the book will enjoy that as well, and it'll be kind of a refresher. It won't be the same thing. It'll be it's a little something new. So I think that'll be exciting as well. So look forward to that. Hopefully I can get that up by May as well, but that's a lot of time sitting in front of a microphone as I'm doing right now. But we'll see. I'll try to get that knocked out. The rest of this week, I'm actually headed over to headed east. I'm going to go do some snowboarding out there, meeting up with a friend, a couple friends probably, and getting a snowboard out there, and then getting really geared up for springtime here in Colorado. As you know, spring was last Wednesday, I think, first day of spring, and there's still a lot of snow on the ground, so it's not springtime up in the high mountains. It's still very much winter conditions, but the snowpack is tends to be a little bit better from an avalanche standpoint during the spring. So I've been watching that and trying counting, being patient until I could get up onto some bigger mountains this spring. So it's coming up fast, and I'm looking forward to that. So this weekend may be the first attempt at knocking out one of the items I had on my snowboarding hit list. So I'm excited about that, and I'll share that with you guys, as we get closer to time. Going forward, try to do a podcast once every week. I'll try to do the follow-up workout videos to the ones I posted. It's in the show notes. Again, the show notes are at therelentlessmindset.com/catching-up, I believe, or /up-to-speed. Sorry. I'm completely wrong on that. So, therelentlessmindset.com/up-to-speed. Then you'll find all the show notes here. Like I said, not going to be much on there, but good to go check it out. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, pretty much it. We'll just end it right here. And hopefully this week I'm also going to be working on Knickknack's newsletter. So if you want to sign up for that, I'm not even sure how you do that anymore. I know you can do it on nicklatuth.com. Ooh, no, I'm not changing that. I'm revamping a bunch of things, so just bear with me on the lack of knowledge here. Just find me on Facebook, Nick Latuth, if you want to join the newsletter, and I may post something where you can join it on Facebook. But nonetheless, like I said, it's a very transitional time for me. Honestly, I wasn't quite ready to do a podcast again, but when you're never really ready now, are you? So I'm going to just take it one step at a time, and I hope that you guys do it as well. And if there's something in your life that you think you may need changing, just ask yourself why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why you think you may want to do something else. I think a big answer, or a big question that we don't ask enough of is why. Why do we do anything? Not that there's necessarily a problem with it, but I think the more understanding we have, the better. Ooh, and that brings me to my third upcoming project that I'm pretty pumped up about. Hopefully it'll be out very, very soon. Is a third book. So it's basically, a big theme of that book is asking why. But, I'm a big believer in understanding myself. And the more I know about myself, I think the better I can, operate in the world around me. So I really want to understand myself and understand my convictions and understand kind of things that, really make me happy and make life worth living, and kind of dive into those and understand them. So I think, the book will be kind of a good lead-in to the documentary. So the book will be tailored towards more of a high school graduating senior, as it is. I'm coming up on my 10-year high school. I graduated high school 10 years ago in June. So that's coming up, and I would really love to get this book project out as all of the seniors are starting to graduate and move on and think about what's next in their life. So I'm excited about that. Been working really hard on it, and we'll have that up as soon as possible. But in the meantime, check out the links, check out the show notes, check out the website too. I'm revamping niclatoof.com. I'll probably be doing a little bit of revamping of the relentlessmindset.com as well. And who knows, maybe even throwing a new website up for my production company that I'm not 100% sure on the name yet. So maybe I'll do a poll or something. Maybe you guys can help me out with the name. But anyway, you guys take care. Have a great week. I'll speak to you soon.